Now on CoastTV News.
Construction in Georgetown, the subject of a workshop happening right now.
Road work and safety problems in Rehoboth Beach.
Riding the tariff wave in Rehoboth, small businesses still grappling with economic unknowns.
And we have showers on the way this upcoming weekend. More on that coming up.
This is CoastTV News at 5.
New apartments in the works in Georgetown. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf.
And I'm Charlie Sakaitis. Welcome to our News at 5. We begin tonight with the Town Council and Planning Commission talking about growth.
You see construction all over Sussex County, including Georgetown. Infrastructure and development projects are part of a discussion happening right now, right there. Coast TV reporter Zakia Jennings shows us what some people are concerned about as the town grows.
Continued construction on the Sussex County Family Courthouse. It's one of the newest additions to the town. Winona Sheldon has lived in Georgetown for 3 years and says she loves it. However, she says the growth she's seen is unbelievable.
It's just coming fast. I mean, you can't stop it. It's going to happen, but it's just been coming so quickly that I don't know if we're able to keep up, or how do you keep up with it?
Town manager Gene Dvornik says Thursday's meeting isn't to discuss any new housing developments in the town. He says it's to discuss the best ways to move forward with future developments.
This is all informational and make sure we're all in agreements on, how important the zoning code is, the comprehensive plan, design standards, and really share what the commission and the town council feel are the strengths, the weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
All are welcome to attend the meeting, though there is no public comment. The meeting will be held here at First State Community Action Agency in Georgetown from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. In Georgetown, Zakia Jennings, Coast TV News.
And there's several development projects in the works there, and as Zakia showed, the Sussex Family Court nearing completion. Here was the scene in January from our drone. The courts say construction of that giant new facility will be done this year. And that's not all in Georgetown. The new Public Works and Police Station building will be built on the land you just saw there. Voters approved an $18 million project to build off of Dell Tech. And according to the town manager, an architect is finalizing the design. Once that's done, officials will start construction documents so they can be put out to bid there in Georgetown.
All of this brings us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know what concerns you most about development in Georgetown.
Let's take a look at the results so far. Take a look at your screen. 63% say traffic, though overcrowded schools, losing open space, and rising costs get a little bit of the vote as well.
If you haven't voted yet, it's easy to do. Just go to coasttv.com or you pull out your cell phone, use our mobile app. That's a good way as well. On your screen right now is Munchie Branch Road in Rehoboth Beach. Since March 10th, crews have been putting in sidewalks and elements to fight flooding. Live in Rehoboth Beach is Coast TV News reporter Brandon Ferguson. Brandon, you spoke with neighbors who say the road work is doing more harm than help.
Charlie, Munchie Branch Road is a one-way heading this direction, but some people I spoke with in this neighborhood are having problems with seeing through these barricades for oncoming traffic heading their way. And another problem we're going to show you is on your screen now. Backhoes heading the wrong way on a one-way into oncoming traffic. And Coast TV spoke with someone who lives right off of Munchie Branch Road and has first-hand experience with these problems.
Not just me, but some of my neighbors as well have been involved in, I want to call it a head-on, but where cars meet here on the road, and then people don't have anywhere to go to move over safely on the one-way. They're clearly driving the wrong way. And again, I attribute that to the lack of signage.
Coast TV reached out to DelDOT about these problems. They said they were unaware and they're going to reach out to the contractor. Live in Rehoboth Beach, Brandon Ferguson, Coast TV News.
We're taking a live look into Rehoboth. Let's check in with our First Alert Chief Meteorologist, Paul Williams. And Paul, I know you've got a lot to talk about today.
Well, we're We're talking about how things are setting up for construction because, no, we've had problems with construction because the weather has been standing in the way. And a lot of it had to do with it just being a bit rainy, but we need the rain. Now that we have an update on our drought monitor, we're now abnormally dry, but we've stayed out of the moderate to severe drought category. So we're slowly getting that moisture back into the soil right now. And when you think about how the drought is easing, for this month, we're already a half an inch or over half an inch in the positive. Take a look at this stat for the year. For the year, though, we're at 13.04 inches of rain, which is actually just over 2.5 inches in excess of rain that we're used to for this time of the year. All of this is really playing a part in just balancing what's been happening over the previous 5 to 6 months. Right now in Laurel, we're at 53 degrees with cloudy skies, and we're not concerned about any precipitation for right now. But guess what, Maddie? We have more rain that's on the way for, unfortunately, your weekend.
While developing out of New York City, police confirmed a helicopter crashed in the Hudson River near the Manhattan area. Departments, land, and marine units are executing rescue operations right now. The helicopter is submerged in the area you see on your screen. A sixth person has been pulled from the Hudson River, but a senior rescue official told NBC News of the 6 pulled, 5 are dead. The FAA and National Transportation Safety Board are already investigating.
And the helicopter crash, incredibly, isn't the only developing aircraft incident. Out of D.C., a plane carrying at least half a dozen U.S. House representatives, the members, that plane was clipped by another aircraft on the ground at Ronald Reagan National Airport this afternoon. Now, both planes connected to American Airlines. The good news here, nobody was hurt. And you might remember it was back in January, an American Airlines jet and a military Black Hawk helicopter. They collided in the air over DCA. That was on January 29th, killing all 67 people on board both aircraft.
Since they were enacted, we've been covering tariffs in the U.S. and here on Delmarva. President Trump has paused tariffs on many countries, but hiked imports from China up to 125%. Game On Video Games and More in Rehoboth says nearly their entire store of electronics is filled with products from overseas, specifically China, Mexico, and Japan. They say since tariffs started, it has not been good news from their distributors.
They just announced to us yesterday that they're going to be raising their prices, so we're trying to hold out to see if we can ride it out so that we don't have to raise prices, is honestly what we're trying to do.
Now, businesses we've spoken with over the past week say the current tariff situation is just full of unknowns. And while it's too early to tell what will happen, they say it is having an impact right now.
And with all this in mind, new data shows U.S. inflation slowed sharply in March, cooling to a 6-month low. But Michael Yoshida shows why the positive price news might be short-lived.
Thursday's Consumer Price Index data showed U.S. inflation cooled to an annual rate of 2.4% in March. Prices fell 0.1% from February, the first time prices have fallen monthly since May 2020. Normally, this trend would stoke optimism. But economists warn this latest data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics doesn't take into account how tariffs could impact consumer goods prices going forward.
We are completely blind looking at the market. Today's CPI numbers, for example, really tell us nothing.
President Donald Trump's aggressive trade moves have already upended global markets and could make imports and likely end products for consumers markedly more expensive. Wednesday, the president announced a 90-day pause on all of his recently announced so-called reciprocal tariffs, except for those on China, which he raised again.
Everybody wants to come and make a deal, and we're working with a lot of different countries, and it's all going to work out very well.
Still, the escalating trade conflict with China, along with fresh pain from tariffs imposed on key goods, steel, aluminum, and cars, stressing markets, consumers, and businesses alike.
What would have cost me maybe $30,000 with a reasonable tariff now is going to cost me almost $200,000.
There is just not a pathway for everyone to pivot and change and magically create this manufacturing that doesn't exist today.
In Washington, I'm Michael Yoshida reporting.
Staying in Washington, House Republicans have taken a key step in advancing President Trump's agenda, voting today to approve a critical budget blueprint. The vote was 216 to 214. The plan includes a tax cut extension and boosts to immigration enforcement and defense spending.
To Lewis, now a new piece of history. pulled into the station this morning. Just after 9 a.m., a new train car, you see it here, was placed on the railroad tracks beside the iconic red caboose by the library. Now, this addition is part of the Lewis Junction and Railroads Association's efforts to bring Lewis locomotive history back to life. Check that out. People who use the trail beside that installment say they're really excited to see the exhibit grow.
I'm able to go by, see the progress on the trail, the locomotive, and it's a good location for people to walk, ride their bikes, and be able to observe the work that they're doing on the railroad project. So it's very good.
Now the organization is in the planning phase for yet another addition to the tracks. In the meantime, both existing parts of the train, they will be prepared for tours. Curbing cell phone use in schools, a bill that could pave the way for new policies in Delaware.
And the question on the floor is this: are we in for a rainy weekend? I'll have the answer to that question coming up.
First, protecting the history of ocean pines, how homeowners are coming together to make a difference. That's up next. Time flies, and if you don't take a little time to commemorate the good moments, those memories can fade away. In today's Coastal Connections, reporter Kevin Zappe shows us how one group in Ocean Pines is trying to keep history alive in their community.
Inside the Ocean Pines Administration Building is a room dedicated to sorting through the history of the community. Elaine Brady and Jenny Cropper-Rhines spend hours volunteering to sort everything out.
We're sort of at a crossroads where the history is going to be gone if we don't do something with it.
The Ocean Pines Historical Task Force started 9 months ago and has around a dozen local volunteers working and sorting through hundreds of pictures showcasing the town's past. And through these images, you can see everything from the transformation of the canals in 1969 to the start of the yacht club, which is now a staple to the community and even has a handcrafted model boat created by an Ocean Pines local in 1955. Other before and after pictures include the golf club building and the Ocean Pines Beach Club in Ocean City, something Brady says is an important spot for the community to meet.
People are very, very active and very friendly because they've come from all over, and so they want to make new friendships here.
If you're looking to dive into the rich history of Ocean Pines right now, there's currently a book you could buy for $20 that will show you how things changed over the 30-year span from 1968 to 1998. And plans for another book are in the works.
I think the biggest thing that we'll be looking at is to do a coffee table book. That's something that people have a lot of interest in, and it's an easy way to learn about Ocean Pines from the beginning to the present.
According to Brady, the new Ocean Pines book is still in the early stages, so you'll have to wait around 2 years to pick up that one and read, which gives you enough time to read the current Ocean Pines book that's out now. I'm Kevin Zappe in Ocean Pines, Coast TV News.
Well, it's looking more and more like we may have a bit of a wet weekend, at least half of it at the very least. We're going to talk about the timing of the precipitation in just a moment. First of all, our dry tech camera, Ocean City, we're looking at about 48 degrees right now, and we're going to stay in the mid to upper 40s for the rest of the night with partly to mostly cloudy skies. Now, we're going to start leaning into the possibility of scattered showers in the forecast, although, to be honest, we need the rain because we're still a bit abnormally dry as far as drought conditions are concerned. 47 degrees in Bethany Beach and in Rehoboth, 48 right now in Milton. The winds coming off the water with 17-mile-per-hour gusts being recorded in Millsboro, a 19-mile-per-hour gust, for example, in Rehoboth. Remember I mentioned that we are abnormally dry? Well, that's the update that we have going on right now. We're still in the abnormally dry category throughout most of the state, definitely in our entire viewing area, but that's better because we were in severe drought and extreme drought at one point. Our chances of precipitation will escalate for us on Friday, so we have a fair shot at some decent rain, in fact, over an inch of rain likely. But in the midst of that, we have very breezy conditions, and that, to be honest, has contributed to just how dry we've been, along with the lack of precipitation on set. Gale wind watch, which means we're watching out for about 30 to 35 mile-per-hour wind gusts to Dewey Beach, Ocean View, Fenwick Island, for example. Now, we do have a small craft advisory in Ocean City, and now the difference between these two, about 10 miles per hour. So we're looking at 25 mile-per-hour wind gusts, Ocean City, down to Chincoteague. That's the difference between the two. And we're also looking for that 25 mile-per-hour wind gust concern in Cambridge as well. We widen the scope here because we have a wall of rain that's slowly making its way towards us. And we've been noticing something in the Weather Center, that a lot of these frontal boundaries are now taking a long time and tracking across the nation, really sluggish. So it's enhancing the opportunity for more rain to be dumped in a short period of time, giving an enhanced opportunity for widespread flooding, which actually is the most dangerous thing as far as severe weather is concerned. Kills more people than anything else, flooding. And this is Flood Awareness Week, by the way, too. 48 degrees overnight for us in Millsboro and in Milton, with showers beginning to kick in. So the storyline for Friday is periods of rain in the afternoon and evening. We could see a thunderstorm flare up on Friday. For the weekend, we're watching out for damp and raw conditions for the entire weekend. So tomorrow we start off cloudy, we stay cloudy. We start off a little bit rainy, we stay rainy. Friday is just going to be a rainy kind of day. Low pressure system off the coast will begin to push in some additional moisture for Friday and Saturday. We'll have periods of rain, heavy at times, with inland and coastal flooding a possibility. Remember, I just told you how things are moving kind of sluggish in the upper atmosphere. Well, that's our concern for us here, because now that same system that's been wreaking havoc in the center part of the country, well, now it's causing problems for us. 52 for us for Friday. Then looking for isolated thunderstorms for Friday afternoon. Look at these red spots here. This is why we're watching out for the possibility of a thunderstorm to kick off. But once again, it's going to be cloudy, so hopefully we'll avoid the threshold of tornadoes. But we're still going to see some isolated pockets of strong thunderstorms for Friday at about 6:30 in the Ocean Pines area. So we're not totally devoid of the possibility of rain. The amount of rain has been enhanced to about nearly 2 inches likely for us in Millsboro, 1.5, Selbyville, 1 3/4, and Long Neck, and 2 1/4 over towards the beaches. So Saturday, scattered showers and cloudy. Sunday, just cloudy is what we're calling for. And then as you take a look at Sunday, things begin to clear out for us as we watch out for another wave for us on Monday. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Yeah, it's just going to be kind of cloudy and gloomy all weekend long, guys.
All right, Paul, thank you. Delaware schools may soon see new rules on student cell phone use under a bipartisan bill introduced to address classroom disruptions. Senate Bill 106 would require schools to create clear policies on phones in schools. The bill outlines key guidelines, such as limiting phone use during instruction and setting clear consequences for misuse. Lawmakers say the bill would ensure policies are enforced school-wide, not just by teachers. It's expected to have a hearing in the coming weeks.
In Berlin, keep your eyes peeled for any raccoons you see. Today, the Worcester County Health Department announced the discovery of a rabid raccoon near Powell Circle, the area that you see on your screen here. If anyone or their pets had contact with the raccoon, officials say to call the Worcester County Health Department and report any sightings of sick animals.
Coming up tonight on the Delmarva Sports Network right now, Delaware High School girls soccer, Sussex Academy at Lake Forest, and catch the final score at 10:30. And on DSN Plus, boys lacrosse, Cambridge facing South Dorchester. NY High now also happening, Seaford playing Laurel in girls soccer, and boys volleyball on right now.
Paying more for sending mail, price increases that the Postal Service is considering. Stay tuned on Coast TV News at 5.
The U.S. Postal Service is trying to raise prices again. The proposed rates include a 5-cent increase for first-class Forever stamps from 73 cents to 78 cents. The price to send domestic postcards would jump from 56 cents to 62 cents. Also, the cost to send metered letters and international letters and postcards would increase by 5 cents. If approved, it all happens July 13th.
The 2028 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles. They're going to include new mixed gender team events in multiple sports. That'll include golf, gymnastics. In addition to those two, there will also be a new mixed gender relay and track and field. The 2028 Summer Games will also be the first to showcase more women than men. And don't forget, Coast TV is the exclusive home for the Olympic Games. The Winter Games are coming up next year.
Here's a live look outside now into Dover. One more check on your forecast after this.
Well, to summarize our weekend, it's going to stay cloudy all weekend long, if not a little drizzly and a bit on the windy side as well. We'll see some scattered showers even kick in at 6 o'clock for this evening in Dover specifically. Our umbrella giveaway winner, Greg Salem of Millsboro. You'll be able to use that umbrella, actually. Come by the station and pick it up, by the way, Greg. Our weather forecast is provided for you with our weather line. It's just a phone call away, sponsored by the law offices of Bruxted, Mandales, and Federico. Finally, here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast. Saturday's just not going to be a warm day, but at least we'll dry out by Sunday.
All right, Paul, thank you, and thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 5.
For more news, more local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
Inside Edition is up next.
And we're going to see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 6. Have a great evening.